From custom concrete to a commercial web trussing, this 40x50 is next level.
Let's check it out.
Welcome backpack. This is Adbil and Willie from WolfSteel Buildings, and we're out here in Fort Worth, Texas, about to show you guys a 40x50 tubular structure. This is a commercial grade, commercial web trussing. I know we did a tour where we're talking about the framing, but now we're here to see the full finished project. And we got a lot of cool things to talk about because we're going to be talking about gutters and downspouts, unique colors, the whole permitting process that happens by doing a project like this. And then at the end, we're also going to be talking about concrete, which is how to protect your concrete with the sealant, which is what we did here. And that is, Willie, why we have a special guest here on our channel. Welcome back. I know you were in the Metal Talks. And how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be back.
That's what's up, man. And talk to me. Right now, you're a concrete manager here at WolfSteel Buildings. How long you been doing this for?
I've been doing it for about 10 years.
Concrete?
Yes, concrete.
Man, you were probably born with a trowel in your hand or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was born with, a trowel. I was born with a trowel in my hand.
Oh my God, that's funny. They tell me I was probably born with a drill in my hand because come from a metal building family. I'm assuming you come from concrete,
from a concrete
family.
Yeah, my dad was a concrete guy, so
yeah,
that's
kind of how it usually works. You kind of go in, stay in the industries of generations. But this project, man, I'm excited to show what's inside. But before we get to that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You guys ready? You ready, Willie?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Go. Alrighty, guys. Now, before we start doing the tour and talk about the dimensions, talk about everything that went on in this project, let me tell you guys a little bit of the story behind this project. How did it all come about? So this was, I think it was maybe 6 months ago. I went to a conference event, and it was like during lunchtime. And I'm sitting there and meet a gentleman, and he was telling me a story that he had bought a metal building for storage, or like a mechanic shop or something like that for storage, for his business, but he was just stuck in permits. And then he found out, what we do, WolfSteel Buildings and stuff, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm still kind of stuck there, but it's just taking a little bit longer than usual. And then he said, but now I need to find a concrete guy to do the concrete for my building. I was like, well, you know what? You're already there. You're already in that process of the permits. Go ahead and keep it. If you want, we can help you with the concrete. We know how metal buildings work. Usually the concrete foundations and notches and all that has to be done specifically for your building. Send me your plans that you have. Let me do a foundation plan specifically for your building. That's exactly what we started helping him out with the concrete. However, he was still stuck in permits. And so usually what happens, especially with tubular buildings, in the tubular industry, most tubular companies will only do the metal building, and you as a client have to get your own concrete. Okay, so a lot of times that's what you have to be managing yourself. And then two, you are responsible for pulling your own permits. Okay, and I'm talking for the industry in general. And when I say that, it's like 90% or more of the industry. And so the client was pulling his own permit, and then he said, hey man, I can't get the concrete moving because I still don't have the permits, but I have a business to run. So we're here in the commercial property. I have a business to run. Oh, okay. He's like, yeah, and I just don't want to be dealing with this permit process. It just takes a lot of my time, and I'm just not getting anywhere with it. So I said, okay, well, I mean, we can definitely pull your permit, but in that case, more than likely, you're gonna have to probably switch over your building with us, and that's what he did. And the reason is because a lot of times the engineer plans that you get are specifically made for the builder that's gonna be doing it. A lot of times, that's in the tubular building industry. The plans have the name of the builder who's going to be building. Long story short, Willie, I know my story's long. The client actually went with us, and we got it moving. It took quite a bit. Marketing helped us out. You know how long the whole permitting process is.
Yeah, it's very long.
It just depends. But here in Fort Worth, it is pretty long. And at first, he had a 30 by 50 metal building. And throughout the process, I think he probably said, hey, like, I think that's too small. I think I'm gonna need a bigger space. And that's how this all kicked off. And are you ready to walk it through?
Let's go, I'm ready.
Let's go. So here we actually have a 40 wide, 50 long, and 16 foot to the eaves, okay? So overall, that's the foundation's dimensions, but we also have a nice approach here to be able to access and go up because of the elevation. Willie, why do we have two different colors?
So let me explain a little bit more about that. This part here to my right, this was the original slab. I believe you said it was 30 foot wide. And so we had to add an extension to the slab to accommodate for his building extension. You know, he wanted the building bigger.
Made it bigger.
Yeah, he made it bigger. So
and he told us in time, right?
Yes.
Before the building, it was still during the permitting process, I believe.
Correct. We added an extension to this slab, and there's no way of getting the same exact color unless you get the exact mix from the exact supplier, which is really impossible.
That's actually very common, like in the metal building as well. So this is something to really keep in mind. So basically, we actually poured it 30 by 50, and then we came back and did this 10 foot extension, and you're gonna see it in the inside. But in the metal building world, say this color that you're seeing here, and you call us a year later, the color might not match. There's fading that happens, number one. And two, it doesn't always go through the same exact paint so there could be some difference in color. And then in the inside, the coil, also the backing usually is white, many different shades, because the coil is not the same and it doesn't come from the exact same coil that it was roll formed.
Right.
So that's what you're saying for concrete. It's going to be really hard for the colors to specifically match.
Yes, extremely.
Will the sun beat it up where they kind of start getting about the same color throughout the years? Or
eventually, yes, whenever so much foot traffic or vehicle traffic or just weather, you know, gets a little dirty or whatever, but it'll eventually look, you know, all as one piece.
Oh yeah? Eventually,
yeah,
it'll just take some time.
Yeah, it'll take some time, but it'll somewhat match. Never exactly the same, but it'll match a little bit more.
Nice. And Willie, why would someone consider to have an approach to be able to, you know, with their foundation?
So we always raise our foundations up with our forms, depending on what form board we're going to use. You know, if it's a 2x4 or a 2x6, and sometimes the off levelness might take an effect as well to raise up the elevation, make it higher, you know, in order to avoid a big bump to where you can't access, you know, with the vehicles, or we put in an approach to slope it down to have a smooth transition from your natural ground and up to your shop.
Up to your shop. Okay, that makes sense. So that's the whole recommendations for having an approach, especially depending where you're gonna have your doors. Because if you, like right now, we have a door on that side, and that one over there, it's just really a door just to open. I would recommend to have an approach, you know, for a client in the future if he's wanting to access it through. It's a small door. But if you have multiple doors, since you have your elevation, your grade of your natural is usually indifferent, you're gonna need an approach, something to really just plan for. Now let's talk about the building, man. This is beautiful. We got a 40 wide, we got 50 long, 16 foot tall, and then we got two 12 by 14 roll-up doors. These are the chain hoisted commercial roll-up doors. Man, you wanna come in a little bit closer so I can show you guys a little bit of the work we do? So again, this is the clay for the walls. We got green, evergreen on the roof. And I believe this is 29 gauge, which is our standard for our tubular. Color matching screws, beautiful and nice base trim around the brick ledge, because we did do the notch details around everything we did here, right?
Yes, we did the notch detail.
The notch detail, which is really like a tin ledge or like a sheet metal ledge. And then the roll-up door coming down, we have the notch. Well, we can show you guys when we're in the inside. How do you like our U trim with our J trim?
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, no screws. You don't see no screws. Basically seamless. Again, we custom order all our sheet metal. The other day I was talking with our team. Quality, you know, everybody's gonna say there's quality, But when we say quality, what we really mean is we have control, because with control comes quality. If you have control of every detail, that's why we fabricate our own buildings. That's why we control everything through very extensive process of selection of our of our team, and as well as our architectural plans that specify exactly how everything should be doing, the notches, the material that's being used, the framing and all that. Now do keep in mind, this is a commercial building, so we did get engineered plans for this building here. And once you're in the inside, you're gonna be seeing a lot of that frame. I think the gutters make a huge difference.
They do.
Were you here before the gutters were on?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was.
It makes a difference,
right?
It
makes a big difference.
The reason I'm asking Willie is because I know you've been in, you recently joined the company about like 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago?
Yeah, like 6 months ago.
6 months ago. Oh man, I'm already, time is flying, guys. So I know with Willie, we're still in the learning curve of the metal building. He's the one teaching me more about concrete, so thank you a lot, man, for that.
Yeah, no problem, man.
The downspouts and gutters make a huge difference. The other day, client said, hey, I want a bigger overhang. Well, the trim by default is a 6-inch overhang all the way around. And then you got the downspouts and you got the gutters that is about 6 to 8 inches. That's already making you a whole foot of an overhang. So you can see here how it feels like it's got a bigger overhang. So here you can see here, come on, get closer here. We got the notch detail around this door. This is, I think this is an 8x8 roll-up door, just like a little door to access from the sides. Maybe even just allow some airflow inside. But you can see we got our notch detail. Any water, especially here in Texas, you know how it's been raining like crazy?
Oh yeah.
We got this so water doesn't come in. So that's the whole point of a notch detail. Come check out. First thing you guys are seeing right now is definitely the clear coat. So Willie, why would someone consider to add clear coat? Or tell me a little bit of our client. Why did he want clear coat? Like, what was the reason he asked for it?
So this shop is going to be, I believe, used for his business. So there's a lot of trucks coming in and out. Meaning there's going to be oil spills. All kinds of chemicals, tire marks, whatever.
Yeah.
What we did here is we put a polyurethane sealer on the concrete slab.
Okay.
And that extends the longevity of your concrete slab, so it protects against any falling objects, like tools or car parts or whatever. It's really easy to clean. It prevents chemicals from seeping into the concrete. Into the concrete, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, and it makes it really shiny, so it makes the concrete like really stand out. We can already step in, right? Because this was done yesterday.
Yeah, you can step in.
Come on in. It makes it really stand out. I can feel a little bit of some grip on it. What did we do to add grip on it?
So we got some non-slip additive into the mix. And what you want to do is, while you're mixing, because this product comes in 2 separate containers. And what you do is you mix them, and as you're mixing it, to get that chemical reaction from it, and as you're mixing it, you add that non-slip grip.
Non-slip on it.
Yeah. So it's almost kind of like a super fine sand material.
Sand material. Perfect. All right, guys, let's open the door so we can get more lighting, because here the cameraman, Ed, is saying that, hey, you can't see anything. But at the same time, we can show you guys how these chain-hoisted roll-up doors work. So let's see who can open it faster. I won. Just kidding. And then here you can tie it down so it locks in. So a clear coat. Now, Willie, talk to me about clear coat versus, like, say, polished concrete. What's the process of doing this clear coat first?
For this specific project, we went with the more economical way of prep work.
Okay.
So that is getting your slab completely clean from all dust or debris. And what we used here to clean it up was xylene. We sprayed some xylene, which is like a paint thinner. And then to get the xylene off and all the dust, we sprayed some acetone afterwards, and then kind of mopped it in. Then we, with the acetone, since it's not, you know, it's not water, it's an actual chemical, it'll,
Yeah.
it'll, you know, fade away within like seconds.
Okay.
So you're able to put your sealer on, you know, within 30 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then we rolled our sealer. Reason why we rolled our sealer and we didn't spray it is because we added, like earlier we mentioned, we added that.
The non-slip.
Yeah, the non-slip. You know, that can clog up a sprayer. So what you want to do is mix it and put it in a roller.
That makes
and then
sense.
you roll the. There's other ways. There's many ways of applying the sealer. You know, from grinding with big grinding machines, you grind the whole slab to where it can stick to your concrete slab more, and it'll last longer. The way we did it here, it'll typically last between 3 to 5 years at the most.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it last 5+, you know, depending on the slab.
Usage.
Yeah, the usage,
You know.
and what you're gonna be at, you know, spilling on it or whatever. But the shininess, the glossiness of it is what fades off first, but the protecting sealant is still there.
Yeah, you can tell it's really like bonded onto.
Yeah, it's really, really bonded.
And especially like, it just makes it really, really like just stand out the flooring. I know you sheeted 2 different colors, and I know we did offer our client, hey, if you want, we can do like include like a coloring or something like that to like a paint.
Yeah, we offer to use just the coloring, some coloring to match. You know, like they make light gray, dark gray, and it'll just look like a all matched concrete floor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
However, this clear coat is the one that we like the most because it just makes the industrial look just stand out and make it very industrial look. So I think that's what I love about this clear coat. Stay tuned because we are offering polished concrete and polyura epoxy, but I know that polished concrete is even a longer term. Obviously, pros and cons to everything. If you want the best, polished concrete is where you really, really grind down that concrete. Yeah. There's really no pores in it, and you know, it's probably even a better product, right?
Yeah, correct. It's way up there.
Way up there. Stay tuned because we got a project that we're going to be sharing about that. Other than that, guys, man, check out the frame. Willie, what do you think? Have you ever seen one of these frames of the Tubular buildings?
I have not, but I was out here without the whole sheeting, and I mean it looked crazy. This is
the difference between a 30 wide structure and a 40 wide structure. Okay, so a 30 wide structure is a little bit smaller, but it's because of the width. The width makes a huge difference in the type of rafter or trussing and the type of columns, okay? So when you get into a 32 wide or more, you're usually going to go into a commercial type of trussing, okay? And this is what it looks like, at least for what we do right now, and this is our deluxe. We do a lot more on the web trussing design. 8 to 10 feet spacing, depending where you are. If you're in like Houston area, we got a lot more winds. We shorten that spacing, we reinforce it. A lot of times when clients ask, hey, well, what's the difference between, red iron and tubular? Well, when it comes down to this type of truss or this type of structure, this is acting like an I-beam. Like this is super solid, 12 gauge material. It's super, super solid, 4 anchors on each angle bracket. We use tubes for all our purlins. We don't use hat channels for our purlins and our girts. Alrighty guys, I know a lot of the questions is price. Like that's always a big factor, and of course it is. We're spending our hard-earned money. We want to make sure we understand how we're spending it. Obviously this is a commercial building, but a lot of times clients in the residential space want a 40x60 or 40x80. Well, here's the difference between like a 30x50 in a tubular building and a 40x60 or 40x50 in a commercial truss design like this, okay? A 30x50 is gonna run you around from $15,000 to up to even like $25,000. Just depends on the features that you select, okay? Because you can really make a big difference in what you add. 26 gauge, base trim, foam gap enclosure, all these little details. But you're running from 15 to 25, okay, for a 30x50. Also, the height has a big factor. Don't forget to check out the video on pricing factors because there's so many little changes that you can make that can really affect the price, okay? But going back to it, 15 to 25. A 40x50 which is only 10 foot wider, you could be running from like 25 up to like 40,000, okay, for a building this size. That's because we also need equipment, and then there's a lot of labor. If you can see on the B-rolls, there's a lot of welding to construct this type of trussing. Yeah, it's very different, right?
Yeah, very different.
I know I missed to ask Willie this specific question, and that I actually want to ask you. So Willie, talk to me. What is the price for like doing a clear coat like this?
So this runs about $2 to $2.75 a square foot.
Okay.
But this is the kind of like, you can think about it as a starter pack.
Okay.
It is like the most, economic friendly option, but
I was just thinking like the starter pack, on the memes that they do, like, the soccer starter pack, or the dad starter pack, it comes with this. This is like we got good, better, and best, right? This is just like everything.
Yeah.
The good, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously there's much better product and better ways of doing this.
Yes.
But we have different coatings and different materials and all kinds of stuff. If you guys stay tuned, we're gonna be coming up with some videos on that.
Yeah, we are coming up with the polished concrete and the polyura epoxy, and you don't want to miss out on that. Again, that's talking, from good, better, and best. This is a good one. It doesn't cost as much, and it protects your foundation, really makes it shine. I know one of our clients on our YouTube also had multiple clients had already done clear coats. But there's a white and gray building. Our client did a clear coating on it, and it was really spectacular. Once you have your lighting, really shines, really makes it stand out. But I know polished concrete, and you don't want to miss out, because we got a special one that we just did recently.
Yeah, we got one coming up.
Already packed. Let's go walking around here, because I really also want to show you guys a little bit more on the end walls, okay? The load-bearing walls are going to be always your side walls, okay? That's where all the weight of the roof is being landed on those. Those are your load-bearing walls, but your end walls are still important. You can see here with the B-rolls how we did a ladder-style end walls. Again, these walls are tall. They should also be reinforced. They're not carrying weight on the roof, but they're carrying the pressure of the wind. So those also have to be reinforced. Just keep that in mind when you're looking at the type of structure you're getting for your metal building, especially here in Texas, where we get a lot of wind. And here, I want to actually show that their steel door, there's a lot of planning involved here. They have an access point. They exit their warehouse, and they want to access here. There's a reason why this steel door is on this side. And right here, I can feel the air. It feels so fresh in here. So doors have a really big impact in airflow of your metal building. They're still working on their electrical.
Yeah.
Already packed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Willie, thank you again for joining us. I know this was your first time. Was this nerve-wracking?
Yeah, it was. I was nervous. This is my first time being on a YouTube channel or a YouTube video. But hey, I remember the word I was trying to say earlier.
What was it?
It's a stain. A stain is what I was trying to offer. It's just,
okay. So it's like a stain, and then it's mixed with the clear coat.
Yeah. That way it gives all an even color.
An even color.
Yeah.
But the client said, nah, keep it like this. This is for running the business. I want to get in action.
Yeah, correct.
So that's awesome, man. No, I know how it is, man. We were just celebrating 3 years from the very first YouTube video.
Okay.
And trust me, the very first one, it took me so many times of like redoing it. Yeah, I redid it like three or four times just to walk through. So that was like very nerve-wracking, but it just takes practice. That's everything.
Yeah.
It's just all about practice. And practice is what makes the master.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's get you more practice on the channel.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this structure. I know I didn't go a lot into the structure because we did a full walkthrough tour during the construction phase. Don't miss out on that one. Not sure if it's connected with this one. And if it is, well, great. You already watched it before watching this. But if it's not, don't miss out. We talk a lot about the actual engineering of these commercial type structures, which by the way, these are very different than what you see out there in the tubular industry. Just pay attention to the differences because ours are made different. Not saying they're better, they're just different. At the end of the day, it's a consumer who decides, you know, what's best fit for them, okay? Other than that, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Pack! Stay up to date with everything we're up to by checking out our social media. You can find us at WolfSteel Buildings for behind the scenes actions. We share our latest projects, updates on what the team is working on, and all the exciting progress happening in real time. Don't miss out on the action and give us a follow.